We are live. Just a touch more. All right. Good evening, everyone. We'll call to order the August 28th meeting of the Board of Education for Rhode Island, Olivia Lake Lillian Independent School District number 2534. We have all 7 members present and accounted for tonight. And then we have 4 members in the audience plus 2 staff members in the audience here and several people online watching tonight as well. So welcome to the meeting. Let's start off with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before we move on to approve the agenda, I'll read the mission statement, and that mission for our school district is to provide all learners in the Bold community an education designed to develop the creativity, character, confidence, and skills essential to flourish in a changing global society. So with that, I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved, Benson.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. I know there's a couple of changes we need to make. Is there a motion to make those, amend the agenda and make those changes?
I would like to add something after that.
I got the first part of it. I didn't hear the second part of it. I know that number 9 and number 10 are repeats in personnel.
So then the other one is under new business, under item E. There's a typo. It should say sexual abuse at the end of the sentence.
I'd like to add something to the agenda.
Do you want to amend the amendment, or do you want to make a separate amendment, Teresa?
I'll make a second.
A separate one?
yeah.
Okay.
There's an action, I don't know if we have to say action behind that number 8. It doesn't say action behind number 8 on page 5. But we should, if it's something we have,
Number 8,
it should be an action item. Resignation.
yes, that should say action there as well. Okay, so Brian, so there's an amendment on the table to approve, to strike items 9 and 10 under personnel as their duplicates. And then under item 8, under personnel, put the word action behind. And then the fourth, or the next one is change item E under new business so it reads sexual abuse with a typo correction. Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Okay. So, okay. So there's a motion on the table to make those changes to the agenda, which is striking items 9 and 10, adding action behind item 8 under the new business, and then the typo correction under item E in new business to say sexual instead of secular. Any discussion on, and that motion, amendment was made by Member Bowen and seconded by Member Buchtel. Any discussion on those changes? Okay, so we'll vote on the amendment, which is making those changes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the amendment to the agenda carries. Okay, are there any other agenda?
I would like to make an amendment to the agenda, or an addition to it. When we add it towards the end, I'd like to bring up a topic about, it's called the Say Something Assembly, and it's possibly for like a lyceum for students, maybe with a combination of different districts. I'm explaining what my thoughts are about that and bring it forward.
Can we put that under new business? So item I is, okay, so is there a second to add that to the agenda?
I'll second it.
Okay, so member Jacobs has moved and member Bowen has seconded to add item I under new business, and we'll call it discussion on the say something agenda, or correct, say something
Assembly.
assembly. Okay. Is there any discussion on that item? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move to vote on this amendment to the agenda, which is to add item I under new business, discussion on the say something accountability, or assembly, sorry. I'm trying to write and talk at the same time, it's difficult. Say something assembly. Any discussion? Okay, we'll move to vote then on item I, discussion on the say something assembly added under new business. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that carries as well. Okay, now we'll vote on actually the full agenda as it's been amended with the two amendments, so. Okay, is there any more discussion on the agenda? Okay. All in favor of approving the agenda with the added two approved amendments, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right. The next item is recognition of visitors to the board. I guess I did that with roll call, so thank you all for coming tonight. And we appreciate everyone's participation and being part of the board meeting tonight. So we will now move on to item 5, our public forum. The public forum is placed on our agenda for the regular meetings. During this part, each regular school board meeting time will be allowed for the constituents of the district to address the school board. Pursuant to policy 206, section 6, the board will make every effort to allow district constituents to speak, but may limit discussion to ensure all business is addressed for the interest of the district. This is a time of listening by the school board. Is there anyone present that would like to speak tonight?
I would.
Okay, Matt, would you come up to the microphone and
All right, good evening, guys.
could you state your name so those online know who's speaking?
Matt Ram from Bird Island. Just like to start by saying it's no secret that we have a school board member that is leaving, moving to Iowa. I have a question as to why this was not brought up beforehand. It feels like now it's too late to have a special election or add this to the referendum vote. So we're getting robbed of our voice again for another year. It could have been added to the referendum vote and been filled this November already. Second, it was mentioned at a previous meeting that some of you guys feel good about the way this referendum is moving forward as the board stepped back and let the community bring this forward. Seriously, how can you feel good about pushing off your responsibilities on a group that was supposed to be representing the community? Is that not what you guys were elected to do? I don't believe the community is being represented at all. As your own survey said, we could possibly support $15 a month. And then your own consultant said that if you want to get the votes, lower it to 13. But yet you push forward with over $17.50 a month. Community representation would have been listening to all your constituents, including the nearly 300 signatures I have on this survey that was shut down unconstitutionally and not even let to be finished or represented or spoken about. So how does that represent the community when you won't even let our voices be heard? Community involvement includes having public informational meetings to discuss things like we did the first referendum. We had meetings at the high school. We had meetings in Rhode Island to discuss this, yet nothing was done this time. Information was viewed as lacking, and yet here we go continuing the same. No meetings, no nothing. I've done some research on Nexus myself, made some calls. I have some friends that live in districts where they have done work before, and they're not what they're cracked up to be. I feel like we've jumped out of the frying pan and into the fire with them. I would like to urge you all to do some more research and come to your own conclusions. It doesn't make sense to me that getting a 30-year loan to pay for some 15-year-old repairs, it just doesn't make sense. When some of the current concerns, such as the track drainage issues, are not even addressed in this nearly $40 million plan. Then when I was looking through the pamphlet for tonight online, I see there's in the payment register, there's $8,700 for lawyers' fees and investigation for personal matters and advice. When does our money get spent on this stuff? What state statutes or administrative laws give the authority for this? Thank you.
Is there anyone else present that would like to speak tonight in the public forum? Okay. Thank you, Matt. We will now move on to the consent items. Item 6, we only need the one motion, and that would be A, to approve our bills for payment and to approve our minutes for the July 24th, 23 regular board meeting and the August 7th, 2023 special board meeting, which are enclosures 1 and 2 in our package. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. So it's been moved by member Bowen and seconded by member Sheehan to approve the consent items. Is there any discussion? Teresa?
Since he brought it up, I'm going to ask then, so you can have this question answered. I can't even see what page number it's on. Page 13.
Oh, wait, no, it's not 13. That's a good thing.
Because there's a whole bunch of like Squires, Walsberger, and Mace. It says miscellaneous investigations, personal matter, and advice. Can we have an answer to that question, since we're on approve, what that was for?
Well, that's the district's.
It's our attorney, and it was a personnel matter.
Oh, personnel, but not person, it says personnel, but it was a
It says
personnel.
personnel.
It's personnel.
Oh, so that was a typo.
That must
makes a difference.
That must be a typo.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, personnel. And I think that answers the question.
Okay.
I had asked Amy earlier today about this one, 144,000 from the innovative office, which she said that you guys are getting new furniture in the elementary, and the whole elementary is getting new furniture. I just wondered, because I had somebody question me on that too, so I'm just answering that question, not mine, for them. That it was some furniture they would buy.
Yep.
It was for that, for this bedroom and Title I, so.
Is that just for those are all elementary classes?
It's up through 4th grade.
Good questions. Any other questions on the consent items? Okay, hearing no more questions, we'll move to the vote to approve the consent items on the agenda, which is approve our bills for payment and approve the minutes from the July 24th, 2023 regular board meeting and the August 7th, 2023 special board meeting. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we will now move on to personnel, which is items 6. And so all the hiring, we will need to do roll call votes for, just so everyone's aware. For for the board. So the first one is approve hiring Sue Altman as a special education teacher, starting with the 2023 through 2024 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
So it's been moved by member Buckle and seconded by member Johnson to approve hiring Sue Altman as a special education teacher, starting with the 2023 through 2024 school year. Any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll move to vote. All in favor to approve hiring Sue Altman as the special ed teacher, starting with the 2023 through 2024 school year, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion, oh, sorry. We gotta do roll call vote. I stated that.
I wasn't gonna say
We're
anything.
gonna re-vote. Member Buckle, member Johnson,
Aye.
member Bowen,
Aye.
member Benson,
Aye.
member Jacobs, sorry, member Sheehan, and I as member Frank am aye as well. So the motion carries unanimously. All right. Item 2, approve hiring Mary Pratt as an assistant cook, starting with the 2023 through 2024 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by member Bowen and seconded by member Benson to approve hiring Mary Pratt as an assistant cook, starting with the 2023 through 2024 school year. Any discussion? No? Okay. Hearing no discussion, we'll move to vote. Member Buckle?
Aye.
Member Johnson? Member Bowen?
Aye.
Member Benson?
Aye.
Member Jacobs?
Aye.
Member Sheehan?
Aye.
And member Frank is an aye as well. The motion carries to approve hiring Mary Pratt as an assistant cook, starting with the 2023 through 2024 school year. All right. Item 3, approve a medical leave of absence for Brenda Mensch, paraprofessional, effective August 29th, 2023. Is there a motion?
So moved, Benson.
Is there a second?
Jacobs.
Okay. It's been moved by member Benson and seconded by member Jacobs to approve a medical leave of absence for Brenda Mensch, paraprofessional, effective August 29th, 2023. Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move to vote on item 3, which is to approve a medical leave of absence for Brenda Mensch, paraprofessional, effective August 29th, 2023. Member Jacobs. Sorry.
Aye.
Member Sheehan?
Aye.
Member Benson?
Aye.
Member Bowen?
Aye.
Member Johnson?
Exciting.
We just got too many with these
Aye.
and member
Aye.
Buckle. Okay, and member Frank is an aye as well. The motion carries to approve a medical leave of absence for Brenda Mensch, paraprofessional, effective August 29th, 2023. Okay. Item 4, approve Mark Everson as the set designer for the musical effective for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved, Benson.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by member Benson and seconded by member Buckle to approve Mark Everson as the set designer for the musical effective for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll move to vote on that. So, member Buckle.
Aye.
Member Johnson.
Aye.
Member Bowen.
Aye.
Member Benson.
Aye.
Member Jacobs.
Aye.
Member Sheehan. Aye. And member Frank is an aye as well. The motion carries to approve Mark Everson as the set designer for the musical effective for the 2023 through 2024 school year. If it's any defense for me, I'm used to calling people by first names, not last names that I know, so, and work with. Anyhow, item 5, approving Carrie Stray as the administrative assistant effective August 14th, 2023. Is there a motion?
So moved, Buckle.
Is there a second?
I'll second it, Johnson.
It's been moved by member Buckle and seconded by member Johnson to approve Carrie Stray as the administrative assistant effective for August 14th, 2023. Any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll move to do a roll call vote. Member Sheehan?
Aye.
Member Jacobs?
Aye.
Member Benson.
Aye.
Member Bowen.
Aye.
Member Johnson.
Aye.
Member Buchtel.
Aye.
And Member Frank, I am an aye as well. The motion carries to approve Carrie Stray as the administrative assistant effective August 14th, 2023. All right, item number 6, approve hiring Taylor Caspers as the STEAM teacher for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved by Member Sheehan and seconded by Member Bowen to approve hiring Taylor Caspers as the STEAM teacher for the 2023 through 2024 school year. Any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll move to do a vote. We'll backwards again, Member Sheehan.
Aye.
Member Jacobs.
Aye.
Member Benson.
Aye.
Member Bowen.
Aye.
Member Johnson.
Aye.
And Member Buckle.
Aye.
And Member Frank is an aye as well. The motion carries to approve hiring Taylor Caspers as the STEAM teacher for the 2023 through 2024 school year. All right. This is a resignation. The next two are resignations, and this will just be a general vote on these. So item 7 is to approve the resignation of Broderick Prokosh effective the end of the 2022 through 2023 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved, Benson.
Is there a second?
Second, Janice.
Jacobs, okay. It's been moved by Member Benson and seconded by Member Jacobs to approve the resignation of Broderick Prokosh effective the end of the 2022 through 2023 school year. By Member Bowen and seconded by Member Jacobs. Any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll move to vote. This will be a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve the resignation of Broderick Prokosh effective the end of the 2022 through 2023 school year. Okay, last one under personnel, number 8, approve the resignation of Ashley Stelton effective the end of the 2022 through 2023 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved by Member Buchtel and seconded by Member Bowen to approve the resignation of Ashley Stelton effective the end of the 2022 through 2023 school year. Any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll move to vote. All in favor to approve the resignation of Ashley Stelton effective the end of the 22 through 2023 school year, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, that completes personnel. Let's move on to section 8, reports. Jim, would you give us your superintendent report?
Yeah, absolutely. And it just occurred to me, I got the dates now of the tours, but I don't have them with me. But we'll get those published out there soon. We're going to be doing tours of both the Olivia and Rhode Island buildings, like, once again, to allow people to take a look and see what the needs are. We've got, we're in the process of scheduling an agricultural landowner session. It's going to be in the near future, most likely on a Sunday, right afternoon, but have not nailed that down quite yet either. But a lot of questions from landowners on how referendums work and how the state is funding those right now. So we've got I see the MSBA conference coffee and conversation series. They do a 9 o'clock in the morning webinar on the first and third Tuesdays of the month. Check your emails. You should have gotten something from MSBA on that. It's just ways for you to connect throughout the week, throughout the month with other board members throughout the state of Minnesota and share ideas and hear ideas too that are coming down the pike. And at last, we're going to need to set at some point a public meeting to discuss the review and comment once that comes back from the Commissioner of Education. That was sent off here a couple weeks ago, beginning of August, or July rather. Once we get that back, Amy, do you know the date that we're supposed to have that absolutely
Just
back?
prior to the election on November 7th, we need to hold it.
No, when we're supposed to hear back from the commissioner.
I do not know. I
There's,
haven't heard.
it's coming up in the next week or so. That'll come back, and then we'll be publishing that in the newspaper, but then we want to have this public meeting. So that's something for us to be thinking about here coming up. That's all I have for us right this evening.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Item B, K through 12 principal report. Brett? There is an enclosure, so the no report is not accurate.
So we got a lot of things going on.
If you could stand right in front of the microphone.
That's good enough for
That will tell you.
you? Okay. I've got a lot of stuff going on. Denny and his crew has done a great job in our building. It's kind of fun when it's all shiny and everything. It's kind of, I don't want to step there, just bringing in dust and every that. As you guys have seen, we've hired a lot of people this year, which has been good. We're still short a few. We're able to cover it in class or in-house. We're gonna have 6 teachers right now on overloads. But that gives us full coverage throughout the year. We are going to Infinite Campus. So we've had some bumps in the road with our Infinite Campus, our new student management system. It was rolled out last week to the parents. We're starting to get a lot of good feedback from the parents that it's much easier to use than Skyward. So that's awesome to hear. That's kind of what we wanted it for. As a parent with Skyward, I could never see what I wanted to see with Skyward. So we're able to see a little bit more with Infinite Campus. The numbers on there have changed. We've gotten 30 kids in the last 2 weeks. Our kindergarten sections are now up to about 36. So we've gained 7 kindergartners in about a week and a half. And I expect that to continue to go up. Everything else, we've lost some, but we've also brought in quite a few. So we're going to be right around where we started last year because we don't have our migrant families in yet. Usually they come first week of school to register. So I expect our number to be 620-ish, 630-ish by the start of the school year. Probably by the time we meet next, it'll be up in that ballpark. Yeah, I mean, we've hired a choir, we've hired 5 and 6 science, social, high school science, 5 and 6 math, English, 2nd grade. We just got STEAM from Taylor. That was last week, I believe. And Sue Altman's going to step in and do some special ed for us. Yeah, that's kind of what I have. It's, we got the start of the school year. We got teachers coming in tomorrow. We had our 10 new staff come in last week. It was fun to get them in the building and get their energy going. So they're going to be a great fit for us. Tomorrow we've got the home volleyball game. Thursday we've got a home volleyball game. Friday's the home football game. So we're just diving in. So that's going to be fun. Any questions?
Brett, could you mention just real quick the math situation where?
Oh, yeah. So we have in 7-12 we have 2 math teachers. So we can cover it with our 2 math teachers. We have our upper math classes, which were lower numbers, and they had between 3 and 6 kids in them. That their option was to basically go to ITV. It's not ideal for us by any stretch of the imagination, but it's something we had to do to cover all the core classes that we had to offer. So our 2 math teachers are on overloads. And hopefully next year, we've got the math position still open, I believe. Hopefully we get another math teacher in there and we can bring those upper classes back.
How does the overload go with their salary?
So
If they carry an overload for the whole year, it's 5,500, and I think it's 26 if they carry by semester. But by far, even having that overload is cheaper than a salary.
we would
I mean,
want us out, we would want another teacher,
Yes,
Yeah.
but this is
It's
how we
not-
have to do it
Yeah,
right now.
absolutely.
So we do have everything covered there.
They're giving up their prep time throughout the day
Yeah.
to do this. So.
How about for, you said you're short in science and title and staff support? How are those? Are the overloads in those also?
So right now, we're still trying to figure out how we're gonna do title. Science, we do have Mr. Kingery on an overload. Support staff, we have 2 interviews coming up.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're full staff there. And then business, we haven't found a business. We're going through ITV if we have to. And also, Ella Richards is gonna take a course or 2 for our business section classes. So not a full roster by any stretch of the imagination, but we're gonna get some.
So on the positions that applicants are applying for yet, are we still seeing very reduced number of applicants for it? For limited number, I should say?
This year's been different. When we put it out there, we've gotten, I would say, 2 or 3 within a week. But I was just looking as I came up here, there's 7,400 jobs open in the state.
You know,
So, I mean, everybody's looking for something. I know halfway through the summer, school district to the west was asking what we were gonna do with choir because they were in the same boat. Said, do you wanna share? I said, if we find somebody, it's possible, but we both found somebody. So, you know, we always have those conversations of what we can do.
So as of now, there's no business offered.
We're gonna have 2, but they're gonna be more of a, it's not gonna be basically a sit-down type business class, it's gonna be more a hands-on, we're gonna get the kids out in the communities, work-based type of classes. We figured if we're gonna do it this way, we have to go with that route.
Sometimes I can learn just.
Absolutely,
If not better.
and that's what with Ella, with the career coordinator, that's kind of how we're going with that.
Thank you. Okay, item C under reports is the activities report from Derek, so you can look at that in closure number 4 in your packet. As always, if you have any questions or comments, you can contact Derek. And
I have one that we could discuss here a little bit under number 3. It says heat and humidity. And they're talking about that, the floors get wet. Have we ever considered, do we run dehumidifiers and do we also have like mini splits we can put in the gym to help keep it cooler in there? Hook up a couple mini splits? Like
Oh,
this.
that's what I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff like this.
I don't know if we've looked into that. I couldn't answer that, but
And dehumidifiers just for
yeah,
someone slips and.
I will bring that up to Denny. I don't know what we've looked at, so
It would have to be enormous.
it would have to be pretty big.
Just
Even if you
when
ran
people
it
come
during-
into the gym, then all the doors open, so it lets heat in as people enter, and then people bring extra heat in off of themselves. So
Yeah,
there's
I
just
get
a
that.
lot
I
of-
was thinking like during the day, as long as you get that down for that short time they come in, at least it's not wet as you're walking in, at least it could start out dry.
But you don't find out till it's wet, till somebody gets hurt, and so it's not worth even trying it if it's gonna get wet.
We can look into
I mean, it's
if
worth
there's
looking
a
at, but I
possibility.
think it'd just be, it's gotta be an enormous thing. If you get flip-flop games like he's talking about doing, when you read through it, that's probably the safest environment for our student athletes and for the other teams, is to just go somewhere where it's gonna stay dry and there's not gonna be any injuries.
So my question would be, what are they doing in other schools that we're not doing in ours?
And then they see
Well, that's what that would be, the mini splits.
in the gymnasium,
It's just a thought, it's just a thought, and if you want to if you watch the humidity and you plug in the dehumidifier when the humidity starts getting high, it's not like you run them all the time if you only have those.
you'd have to get an HVAC expert / engineer in that knows the airflow and the air volume in the space and what can be done to do that, and that'll help figure out if that's a possibility.
So going forward, like in the referendum, is that being addressed? Do you know that issue?
Yes.
They're finishing it in the gym.
Okay. And the humidity too, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions on the activities report? Okay. Then we'll move on to the community ed report. That's enclosure number 5. So this is item D under reports. Same Derek is available for questions or, via phone or email. So, any questions from any board members at this point?
Is there a reason why, like, we're struggling in the YMCA section?
They just haven't found somebody to replace yet. Or, no, I take that back.
Tucker, they got.
They did find someone,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then it says pending, other programs are pending staff, so you can't, they're not overstaffed either, so.
Well, they didn't have anybody running it for a little while, so I think, and I haven't spoken to her, she was here today, but I missed her. I don't know, they've got, I know when Liz was here, she was constantly looking for people to help out.
Okay, we ready to move on, or any other questions? Okay. Let's move then to item E, the pool report. That's enclosure number 6 in our packet from Tracy. Any questions on the pool report?
We are getting the cooler installed here. Well, I say cooler. It's the walls of a walk-in cooler that we're using to house now all of the new wiring. And we will have that air conditioned inside of there as well as dehumidified. It's kind of the same thing, but not exactly. But that's our solution to not putting it back underneath the pool, which the insurance companies did not like.
Okay. Let's move on then to item F, facilities report from Denny. That's enclosure 7 of the packet. So any questions or comments on that?
So when they say floors in Rhode Island, they just did the gym floor, there's no
Gym floor.
hallway floors or anything like
Gym
that.
floor, as far as I know, they do the hallway floor now.
Any other questions?
Would there be a reason why they went to the hallway floors?
If they don't get a lot of foot traffic right now. If it didn't need it, they didn't do it, so. And I'm not saying they didn't do it, I'm just saying if it wasn't necessary, they wouldn't have done it.
Any other questions? Okay. Are there any, let's move on then to item G. Are there any school board committee reports from this last month? Okay. There are none. So then we will now move into new business. So first item under new business is A. So I'll read the statement. That would be a synopsis of the August 7th, 2023 closed board session. The Bullis School Board went into closed session on August 7th, 2023 in the district office at 7:57 PM to discuss labor negotiations. Those present in the closed session were Chair Frank, Member Buchtel, Member Johnson, Member Bowen, Member Benson, Member Jacobs, Member Sheehan, Superintendent James Menton, and Business Manager Amy Schmidt. Closed session was adjourned at 8:27 PM. And so that's a statement that's required under open meeting law to be made at the next meeting that's held. So with that, we're moved now on to item B, which is our final reading of policy 501, the school weapons policy. And this will require a vote tonight. And so that's enclosure number 8 in our packet. So with that, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it, Johnson.
Okay, it's been moved by Member Buchtel and seconded by Member Johnson to approve the final reading of policy 501, schools weapon policy, and enclosure number 8 in our packet. So as the enclosure was published and available for everyone, we do not have to read the full policy word for word through.
Wow, amazing.
So are there,
Come on, you can do it.
are there any questions or amendments to the policy? Okay. So with that, we will now move to vote on the final reading of policy 501, our school's weapon policy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion carries to adapt the policy 501, our school's weapon policy, as published as enclosure number 8. Okay. So we'll get that up on the old website as a new approved, revised approved policy. Okay. Item C, we're gonna have our final reading of policy 502, search of student lockers, desks, personal possessions, and student person. This requires an action, so we have, and it's enclosure number 9 in the packet. Is there a member that moves and a member that seconds that?
Motion?
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved by member Sheehan and seconded by member Bowen to approve the reading of policy 502, search of student lockers, desks, personal possessions, and student person as enclosure number 9 in our packet. Any discussion, any amendments or changes to the policy? Okay, hearing none, we will move to vote on approving policy 502, search of student lockers, desks, personal possessions, and student person as published as enclosure number 9 in the packet. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries to approve the policy 502. Okay. Next is item D. That's approving our food service prices for the 2023-2024 school year. And adult breakfast would be $2.25. And adult lunch would be $5. Extra milk is 55 cents per carton, I'm assuming. Extra juice is 55 cents per, I'm assuming that's a juice carton. And water would be $1 for a, I'm assuming that's a bottle.
Bottle, yeah.
Yep. And an extra student entree is set at $2 even. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? I have a motion by member Bowen and a second by member Sheehan to approve the food service prices for the 2023-2024 school year. Whereas an adult breakfast for $2.25, an adult lunch for $5, extra milk for 55 cents, extra juice for 55 cents, water for $1, and student extra entree for $2. Any discussion or questions?
I just got a quick question. When it says adult, this is just for staff members then?
No, the adult is for specifically, if you wanted to show up and eat breakfast, that's what you would pay. The students don't pay
Right,
that.
the students have the other
Yeah.
one. now.
But
Okay,
even though
I
the
just wanna
state's
make
paying for student lunches, they only get one milk or one entree. So if they want a second helping of chicken sandwich or
Yeah.
whatever it is for the day, that's what they would pay.
Okay.
Is there a reason why breakfast is so cheap compared to the lunch for the adult?
It's just less food.
Generally cheaper items too.
Yeah. And for breakfast, they might get like a fruit roll up or I don't even have breakfast here. I don't even know if they make fruit roll ups.
For breakfast.
But I don't know. It's like a fruit thing and yeah. I'm on record saying food thing. Proud moment.
Any other questions or discussion on the food service prices for the 2023 through 2024 school year? Okay. Hearing none, we're going to move to vote then to approve the food service prices for the 2023 through 2024 school year as published in the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve the food service prices for the 2023 through 2024 school year. And with the adult breakfast at $2.25, adult lunch at $5, extra milk at 55 cents, extra juice at 55 cents, water at $1, and the student extra entree at $2. Okay. Item E under new business is our first reading of policy 414, mandated reporting of child neglect or physical or sexual abuse. And so, is that policy?
I don't think that made it in.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's not enclosure twisted. Amy?
Yes. It must have been back in there.
I got one.
Oh, you did?
It's special.
Could we make copies of that quick and just
I
hand it
had
to
closure
you?
all of
And
them,
then
closure
recording?
11.
Oh,
What's a enclosure 11?
Number 11.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
okay. I,
There we go. They just got lost.
I just didn't look back. Okay,
I thought it was-
everyone look for it at enclosure 11 in the packets. Sorry. I didn't look past. I figured the one under that was for, and I did review everything in my packet ahead of time. So
that
sorry.
one is before, or that's after, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
Does it matter?
That doesn't.
It doesn't
It
matter,
doesn't
as long as it's there. Yeah. So, okay. Again, this is the first reading, so we'll look at it again the next 2 months. And so look through it for any questions and suggested changes to the policy, so. Okay. And there's no action needed tonight on that, obviously. Okay, let's move on now to item F, which would be to approve the 2023 through 2025 EA Master Agreement. We will need a motion and a second on this.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved by member Bucktel and seconded by member Bowen to approve the 2023 through 2025 EA Master Agreement. With that, is there any discussion or questions?
I was just gonna bring this up, I know we talked about it, at our meeting about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and we have nobody to have that up, and I was certain Darren Saginaw had done that.
So that's separate from the school. That has nothing to do with the school per se, but we allow them time in the library to meet. Typically, he does it during lunch, but we don't pay that position. The confusion came around the FCCLA,
Right.
and when we first started talking about that, that's what we thought it was, because we've never actually funded that position before. So
Okay, I didn't know that, so it has never been funded.
the FCCLA, oh, yeah, right, no, neither one of those, right?
Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
The FCCLA has been in there, but we do not pay that as a school. We cannot pay for that as a school. But there was a grant that somebody, I think, gave to one of the churches that maybe might oversee that. I'm not positive on that.
Okay, and that's where that came in then?
But that's not part of the school.
All right,
But they were still meeting last year. They weren't able to meet because just the way the schedule rolled out, and Mr. Saginaw didn't have study hall during the lunchtime anymore, so.
Well, if we can't do the FCCLA. Is that the one you said we cannot?
No.
FCA.
Fellowship of Christian
Yes,
Athletes.
that's the one. we can't.
FCA we
Yeah,
can't,
FCCLA we do because it's on here.
That,
Okay.
yes.
yeah. All right,
Gotcha.
I would say it was great to work with the board committee. We worked well together. I think the we did a good job of putting out a fair offer. They did a good job of not coming in at the skyrocket level, and it went very well.
Thank you guys. It's huge just to be on schedule.
Yes.
Okay, any other comments, questions on the master agreement? All right. We will move to vote on approving the 2023 through 2025 EA master agreement, and I'll do a roll call vote on that because it is a significant contract for the district and the biggest, yep. And so we'll do our vote in that manner. So Member Buckle?
Aye.
Member Johnson?
Aye.
Member Bowen?
Aye.
Member Benson?
Aye.
Member Jacobs?
Aye.
Member Sheehan?
Aye.
And Member Frank is an aye as well. The motion carries to approve the 2023 through 2025 EA Master Agreement. Okay. On to item G. That is to approve the 2023 through 2024 co-curricular staffing list, which is on the agenda, starting on page 5 and rolls over. Well, we have multiple page 5s. Starting on page 3, actually, and on page 4. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it, Johnson.
So it's been moved by Member Buckle and seconded by Member Johnson to approve the 2023 through 2024 co-curricular staffing list. So I'll read the position's name and FTEs as part of this. Musical choreographer Deb Ziller at 0.5. Musical choreographer Catherine Reese at 0.5. Musical director Deb Ziller at an FTE of 1. Musical pianist Catherine Reese at an FTE of 1. A musical band / vocal director Catherine Reese at 0.67. The musical band vocal director Nicholas Strandberg at 0.33. Musical set design Deb Ziller at 0.5. Musical set design Mark Everson at 0.5. Elementary music Elizabeth Waskell Whitman at 1. Annual advisor Melissa Hanze at 1. The FFA advisor Skylar Schmidt at 1. Our Knowledge Bowl advisor Senior High Ryan Tantala at 1. The Knowledge Bowl advisor Junior High Ryan Tantala at FTE 1. Our National Honor Society Skylar Schmidt at 1. The Junior High Math League advisor is an open position at 1. The Senior High Math League advisor Charles Schneider at 1. The Senior High Vocal Music Madeline Wilkinson at an FTE 1. Senior High Band Nicholas Strandberg at a 1 FTE. Senior Class Advisor Heidi Gross for a 1 FTE. Junior Class Advisor, that's incorrect, Cheryl Peterson. Should not be.
It's open.
It's open. That should be open. Okay. I'm glad we read through that. Junior Class Advisor is open for a 1 FTE. Student Council Advisor Christina Sabota for 0.5. Student Council Advisor Heidi Gross at 0.5. 1 Act Play Deb Ziller for a 1 FTE, and the BPA, the Business Advisor, open at an FTE 1. So that was a motion by Buckle and a second by Johnson. Are there any questions on that?
Is there a reason why Nicholas Strandberg for the musical band vocal director is at 0.33 and the band vocal director for Catherine is 0.67? Why is there a difference between the two?
I don't think he's there at every
Yeah,
practice.
I feel like we talked about this. I don't know.
I-
Is that negotiations?
They
or-
brought that up at negotiations, I think.
Yeah, I feel like it came up,
But yeah, she
I
does,
feel like
she
they just
does,
work it out.
yeah, they worked this out together, so we didn't set that up for them.
I didn't want to I wanted to make sure it wasn't a typo.
Right.
or something.
Not that there'd be a typo.
I know he does a lot with the
I
sound.
think there's one on page
On the
5.
soundboard and things. I think he does a lot with that side of it.
How does that work with Christina Sabota, Leda out?
So that's why they're sharing that. So Heidi Gross is going to do it for the first half of the year.
Got it.
And Christina will take back
The
over.
the back half,
Yeah.
got it. Any other questions? Okay, so we will now vote, and the one change is that the junior class advisor is an open position with that, so everyone's aware. And, okay. Because these are FTEs, we'll do a roll call vote again on this for the full list. So we're gonna move to vote. Member Buckle?
Aye.
Member Johnson?
Aye.
Member Bowen?
Aye.
Member Benson?
Aye.
Member Jacobs?
Aye.
Member Sheehan?
Aye.
And Member Frank is an aye. The motion carries to approve the 2023 through 2024 co-curricular staffing list as published, but with the change of junior class advisor is open right now. Okay. Item H, the second to last new business item on the agenda is to approve our 2023 through 2024 fall athletic coaching staff. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
Okay. It's been moved by member Sheehan and seconded by member Bowen to approve the 2023 through 2024 fall athletic coaching staff with head football coach Derek Flan with a 1 FTE, assistant football coach Dan Gross with a 1 FTE, assistant football coach Darren Sagadol with a 1 FTE, assistant football coach Justin Martinson with a 0.5 FTE, assistant football coach Kyle Athman with a 0.5 FTE, junior high football coach Matt Sullivan with a 1 FTE, junior high football coach Brian Kingery with a 1 FTE. The assistant junior high football coach with a 1 FTE is open. Head volleyball coach Bailey Kubash with a 1 FTE, assistant volleyball coach Melissa Everson with a 1 FTE, the C Squad volleyball coach Tom Cadet with a 1 FTE, junior high volleyball coach Leanne Snow with a 1 FTE, junior high volleyball coach Whitney Haney with a 1 FTE, and then volunteer volleyball coach Carrie Gass and volunteer volleyball coach Kiana Johnson. As volunteers, they're going to be 0 FTE. And head cross-country coach Jen Yonke is a 1 FTE, and assistant cross-country coach Brett Henriksen is a 1 FTE. Any discussion, questions? Okay, hearing none, we will move to vote by roll call on approving the 2023 through 2024 fall athletic coaching staff as published on the agenda. Member Buckle.
Aye.
Member Johnson.
Aye.
Member Bowen.
Aye.
Member Benson.
Aye.
Member Jacobs.
Aye.
Member Sheehan.
Aye.
And Member Frank is an aye. Motion carries to approve the 2023 through 2024 fall athletic coaching staff as listed on the agenda. Okay. On to item I, discussion on the Say Something Assembly. Teresa.
Okay, a few months ago, I had the privilege of sitting in on a little seminar on trafficking. It was held here at where the community outreach center was in Olivia. And there was a couple from Wilmer that put that on, and it was called Love to Hope. And they helped save 15 kids this last year out in Las Vegas from trafficking. And they said it's very prevalent in our area, bigger than we even think right now. So after visiting with them, I was talking to the woman that put it on with her husband. She said there's this group, it's called the Say Something Assembly. And what they do is they'll come into multiple school districts because it's expensive. It's kind of a big program. They collaborate and coordinate this whole thing. And they said it's a kind of an organizational feat because they have to get a number of schools because it's $10,000 they have them come in. But they're a big group. They have survivors of trafficking come in and talk with students and staff. They have law enforcement come in. They talk about social media dangers. They talk about trafficking. They help come in and educate staff and the counselors too. This is primarily for 7th grade or 6th grade on up. It's not for the littles, it's for the bigger kids. It's supposed to help the students recognize and respond to issues that threaten their future. It covers bullying, exploitation, suicide, and addiction. It covers all these heavy areas which we've had issues with in the past too. And one of their models, it says, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because I know it's expensive. I got the name of 2 of the directors that I can pass on if we're at all interested in that coming into our district, and maybe Mr. Minton, if you wanted to collaborate with RCW and VLH, and we could split that cost. But I just think in our time and from when we did the Love to Hope seminar, and they said it's scary prevalent in our area. It would just make your head spin.
I think the term sex trafficking is misleading. It makes it seem like you're taking one person from another spot to another. And it can be as simple as you exchange some photos that you shouldn't have, and now somebody else has them, and they're going to use those as leverage to hustle you, basically. And yeah, it's everywhere. We have no idea how much is happening, which is scary. But what I would do is I could pass that on to Mr. Benson, and we can absolutely work with our area school districts to see there's probably a lot of support out there for financially for things like this too. So yeah.
I've got numbers for both of them. This is the gal from this and from the Love to Hope. And I don't have the Jody, I have this number on my phone. I just shut my phone off. But this Caleb is one of the guys too. You can call him and he'll give you more information.
All right, I'll just have that. Thank you.
Yep. I'll keep a copy of that. The first 2 numbers too, if you don't mind handing back, I'll take their numbers down and,
Yeah, no, I'm just copying this down.
okay.
All right. Okay, thank you, Teresa.
And then I need that second one too, to copy those numbers down on the back. Yeah, I'll give that back.
Here.
Thanks, Teresa. Any questions for Teresa on that? All right. One upcoming date, then we'll move on to item 10, which is our September 25th, 2023 school board regular meeting will be held 7 p.m. here in the district office. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Benson.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by member Benson and seconded by member Buckle to adjourn. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Against? Motion carries to adjourn at 8:03 p.m. Thank you, everyone.